What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is Will here. It's the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. Casino will be joining us in a second. So if you are waiting to see his beautiful, dumpy white face, you will in a moment. But we are here today to recap just an insane week one. Not only an insane day, an insane Sunday night football game. Whew, I'm out of breath already. So we got to wait for Casino, but we did the, we talked about it on the TikTok shorts we did. Is there going to be a better game than Bills Ravens last night? Let's not even bury the lead. Let's talk about that first. Bills Ravens last night, 41-40, with at one point the Ravens being up 40-25 with 4 minutes left in the game. I always love those win probability charts where it's just sky high and then all of a sudden it just dips. You know, the Ravens had like a 99% win percentile, and then all of a sudden here come the Bills. They're getting tip passes. They're getting a random fumble from Derrick Henry. And here's Casino.
Sorry, my light went out, and then going there to grab my cord to get it plugged in. My daughter had about 1 million questions. We played 20 questions, and
so
great.
We're starting with Bills and Ravens, obviously, Casino. So
what game is that?
Yeah. Bills are only the fourth team since the year 2000 to win despite trailing by 15 plus points in the final 4 minutes. This is a crazy stat. They are the fourth team out of 2,312. So only the fourth team to ever do it. And there was some stat, I don't remember it, on Sunday Night Football where it was like they were the first team to do something since like 1967 or whatever. How they find these stats, I have no idea.
So that one right there, that was the last time that the Bills team had a 15 plus deficit and came back in the fourth quarter. Came back.
Yeah.
And that was against the Jets, and then right after that was the Brown. Before that was the Browns.
Yeah, so crazy game. Also, I think this is interesting. John Harbaugh has the most blown double-digit leads by any coach since 1991 with 17.
That's a lot.
That is a insane number to have double-digit leads and then blow them.
Yeah. My favorite one of all of those were when the Patriots came back and beat them when they were down 14 twice, and they came back and won. That was awesome. Julian Edelman threw a touchdown pass to Danny Amendola. Great game. Just watched that again recently. I rewatch a lot of those games. My wife finds it really funny. So some other stats from that game. So the Ravens' loss ended an NFL streak of 277-0 when a team scored at least 40 points and rushed for at least 235 yards, which is insane. Also, for the Bills, Josh Allen, he is the only quarterback in the last 35 years to record at least 250 total yards and 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter of a win. It's just wild. There was just so many stats that were broken last night.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it. And we say all that right there with Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens did not play a bad game. They did not.
No, they really didn't. And
they
again,
played a really good game.
The real turning point in that fourth quarter was obviously the Derrick Henry fumble, but he had 18 carries, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
And there you go. And it really felt like that one run where he just broke it for like 70 yards was like the backbreaker that ended the game. And then all of a sudden it was just like, Ravens are in control. It's over. And then Bills get the fumble back. They get that touchdown when it's 4th and 3, and it gets tipped in the end zone, just falls right into a Bills wide receiver's hands. I think it was Coleman. And also Lamar Jackson in that game, that pass he threw to DeAndre No,
Oh,
the
the
DeAndre
Hopkins?
Hopkins one. In between two guys, Hopkins, it couldn't have gone to any other person in the despite there being two defenders there, falls right in his hands. That's one of the best throws you're ever going to see.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
the people still saying Lamar Jackson can't throw or is not like a throwing quarterback. He's only like a running back at quarterback. I just watch Ravens games and I'm like, how could you possibly think
Dude,
this?
yeah,
Like,
he only made 14
insane.
completions and he was over 200 yards.
Yeah, like some of those, and
With
again,
2 touchdowns and no interceptions, he was great, but he sees the seams. Why throw it if you have his speed, if you have his agility and his size, why throw it when you see a pocket? He still was their second leading rusher with 70 yards off of 6 carries. Like, why not? I mean,
yeah.
obviously the workhorse was Henry, and that was an insane night by Derrick Henry. Um, but
Well,
good for him.
also shout out to Zay Flowers, 7
That's
receptions,
the
143 yards, 1 touchdown.
I needed that considering I had Worthy as well, and, we saw what happened
Yeah.
there.
Dude, I was
But yeah,
just gonna, as a fan, he is the savior in fantasy for me and Casino this week. I was going into that Sunday night game. He was my last player, and I was down by 20 points. And I was like, there's no way.
there's no
There's no
way
way.
Zay Flowers is doing that.
He gets 29 points, and I end up winning the game. And because also my opponent, for some reason, started the Bills defense. So it was like a
Yeah.
1-2 punch of just getting that in.
Yeah,
Uh,
so it was funny. My wife kind of in a weird situation too. So she was playing my coworker who I worked with last night, wife, and she had the Ravens defense and Derrick Henry. So after he made that, and she has Hawkinson tonight. So after Derrick Henry made that run and score, she was within 9 points of him, or 9 points of my wife. And I was like, oh, okay, like Hawkinson 9 points, easy, right? Like that's going to be a scapegoat for JJ McCarthy tonight. Easy, 9 points. And then the fumble happened. I'm like, oh, points lost. And then the Bills went and scored twice. And I was like, oh, dang. And I looked at it. Now my wife's expected to win by 21 points.
Jesus.
Like it was 9 points to 21 points because of the fumble. And like, why would you start that defense? And he said that the entire night. He goes, I told her not to start the Ravens defense. Told her not to start the Ravens defense. But
Yeah.
she was like, she didn't want to draft another defense. She was like, I'm just gonna keep the one that I drafted, apparently. And yeah, but Zay Flowers, great. I know he's a streaky player, but he looked good. That catch that he made was just phenomenal for that touchdown. That
Mhm.
25-yarder was really good. Um, yeah, I mean this team's great. Uh, so while we're still talking about the Ravens, what do you think of the whole fan punching Lamar Jackson in the head?
Well, this is funny because being an Eagles fan or whatever, we get so much shit for like our fans, and then the things people bring up are literally like, "Oh, your fans threw batteries at Santa Claus in like the 70s or 80s or whatever that happened." And it's always just one of those
Yeah,
things
that
that's
was
just
kind of
like,
acceptable back in the day.
well, it's also like, who gives a shit? Like, why is Santa at a halftime of like a football game, anyways? Like, who cares? That was at this point, what, 50 years ago? And that's always the shining example.
That's
Buffalo
still great.
Bills, Buffalo Bills fans are what people think Eagles fans are. They just have better PR because everybody loves, unless you're obviously rooting against the Bills because of your team, but just football fans love Buffalo and love the Bills mostly because they're kind of like the lovable losers that lost the 4 Super Bowls, and everybody's like, oh, it's just that little, that little Buffalo, New York, all that kind of stuff, chicken wings, blah blah blah. Their fans are, what is it, as bad as any other people's fans,
Oh
just
yeah,
like I always say about Eagles fans. It's just like there's
Patriots
millions of
fans, they're no
people.
New England fans. They ain't no sweethearts.
Yeah, there's every sports fan. There's thousands, millions, hundreds of thousands of people rooting for one specific team. You think there's a collective group where it's just like, oh yeah, a million people, they're all the nicest people on the planet? Like,
No,
no. Like,
no.
also that fan to do that, I think he do it to Zay Flowers
Yeah,
first,
he was hitting
and
like all
then
of them
he
in the helmet.
yeah, like to be again a skinny white kid that close to just giant football players and just be hitting them in the head when they're also within arm's reach of you. Like, if what is it? Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson would have just grabbed that guy out of the stands and started just beating him to death on the field. I feel like, myself included, I'd just be like, I mean, what, the fans started it. Like, what, why was that bad? Like,
Yeah.
he put his hands on them and he was doing it in a way where it was like, not even like you could have interpret it as anything else. He was clearly just like putting his hand on the helmet to like violently push it away. Like, what a dickhead. What a
What a
dickhead.
dickhead.
And then also, yeah, their fans leaving with like 10 minutes. It was like something ridiculous, like 10 to 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You're
Yeah.
down by 2 scores and you have Josh Allen. It's
Yeah.
not like they were having
I
a
I
bad
will
game up to
never
that
leave
point.
a sporting event early. I did
That's what I'm
one ti
saying.
I did one time, and it was in college. It was for a UNLV basketball game. There was, I think it was like a minute and a half left or something like that, 2 minutes left. We were down 13, and I was like, "Okay, like, that's wild. That's a tough comeback. Alright, I'm gonna head out." And I headed out. They ended up coming back and winning that game, which
Oh,
was in regulation, which was insane.
and you're like,
Um
never again after that.
And never
Never
again.
again.
I mean, it was a meaningless game. Meaning it was just a regular. It was Fresno State, I think, or something like that. So it was just a conference game that was like meh, whatever. And that was when UNLV was really in their prime. Then they were ranked continuously in the top 25.
Yeah.
Was luckily is when I was in college, but yeah. So ever since then, I will not leave a game early. Just will never do it.
I am
Even
not
even
leaving a
if my team
game.
is even if my team is getting blown out, I'm like, I paid to be here. Not that
Yeah.
game, but I paid to be here and I'm going to watch. I'm going to just enjoy my team, whether win or lose. I am going to stay the entire time.
Yeah.
Like the
If
people who left the
unless the
Super Bowl early.
starters,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like you're,
But the
unless
people
the
who left the,
starters are on the bench, I'm not leaving.
yeah.
I'm not leaving.
I mean, if the people who left the Super Bowl early, that the Falcons Patriots one, that is wild. Whoever leaves a championship game of any sport is absolutely wild. You paid thousands, beyond thousands of dollars to be there. Write
Yeah.
it out. Write it out.
Well,
Win or lose, write it out.
well, think about how many people like left that what is it, the Music City Miracle? What with the
Oh
Bills and
yeah.
the Oilers or whatever? Like, think of how many people left that game and were just trying to run back in, which I'm sure they also were doing in this Bills Ravens game. I think one of those things that is just should be across the board. The second you leave the stadium, you should not be allowed to back in. Like, there's no way if you have that little faith where you're running out, but then enough faith where your team starts slightly coming back that you run back in, they should just be like, nope, sorry. Like, this is on you. Like,
Oh,
this is
100%. I remember
grown-ups.
I
Like,
remember seeing the aerial photo or the aerial video of those Patriot fans trying to get back into the stadium.
yeah, fools.
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 Just fools. One more time.
Also, again,
Fools.
it's in that game, it's like, oh no, the mighty Falcons. It's like they're coached by a coach on the offense that now has become famous for letting people come back. I mean, he's a genius, one of the best in the league. But when it comes to this Ravens Bills game, Casino, I've seen this point mentioned before when people have been talking about it since, and I think everyone can agree when you just watch these two teams play, you're just like, oh, these are the two best teams in the league. And I don't even think it's close. Like, again, that will they stay this way throughout the whole season? Who knows? Because obviously last year there was that weird Bills Rams game where the Bills just got annihilated. And it was like, what's going on here? So this is not going to be this team consistent for the next 17 weeks. But when you watch all the football we did yesterday to end with these two teams, you're just like, there's a reason these two are always picked before the season as like the Super Bowl favorites in the AFC. Did you freeze?
I did, but I heard they're Super Bowl favorites, and I totally agree. Just 100%. That was just delightful. Everybody that was in my bar watching that game, nobody was there was no certain team people were cheering for, but it was every time a big play happened or something shocking happened, everybody was like, "Ah, ooh, ah," and just like all the noises, and I'm just like that's just insane. Like it was great. It was
Yeah.
That was so enjoyable to watch, and I was having trouble. I was over pouring beer on accident, like, just, like, going, and I was like, "Oh, my hand's covered in beer. Fine." And then I looked back to, like, see if the guest was, like it happened once, actually, and to see if the guest was, like, angry. They were glued to the TV too, and I was like, "Okay, I got away with that one." I used the water spray bottle and sprayed it down, but, yeah, I over poured the beer, and it was just going down my hand, and I was just doing that. You see that in movies and whatnot where they're just doing that over pour. That legitimately happened to me off the tap last night, and it was really funny.
But let's now move to other. There were other games that were played yesterday, which is
Oh,
crazy when you.
what?
Yeah, that was also the update for the picks right now. I picked that as the best game. You thought it would be Packers Lions. So point to daddy over here. But going into tonight's game, Casino, and we said this last time, we picked so many different games. Casino and I are literally tied after this week, both
We
at
said it was gonna
11.
happen.
I know, both at 11. However, we do have the Monday Night Football game different. Casino has the Vikings, I have the Bears.
Ew.
So, whoever wins that game
Yeah.
wins week 1.
Yeah, and
Just a
my
great game.
coworker who's a Bears fan, he asked me who I had, and I gave my reasonings. I said Vikings, and before I could say it, he goes, "Yeah, because you don't trust Caleb, do you?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And that's the only thing, 'cause I don't know what JJ McCarthy is yet, but I know what Caleb Williams yet is yet. So I just can't trust him. That's my only reason, because this is a damn near pick 'em for me right now.
Well, let's get into the games that did happen. So we started, we haven't even talked about Friday's game because it obviously happened after we recorded. So let's go back to
Ooh,
Friday.
yeah. Got that
27
one
20.
right.
You did get this one right. 27-21. The Chargers beat the Chiefs in what I can only assume as a Justin Herbert hater was just devastating to the Justin Herbert hater community because that's the best game I've ever seen him play
Oh,
by
by
a
far.
country mile.
Yeah.
And not only because of his stats and what he was doing, but that run at the end, dare I say, was Jalen Hurts esque. Like the way he took off and then slid inbounds, that was
Oh,
his
and
running ability.
his reaction to that, where he slid like a good, like, 5 to 8 yards, and when he
Mhm.
stood up, I was just like, "Oh." He just had that blank stare of like, "Yeah, I just won the game. What are you gonna do about it?"
Yeah, finally beat the Chiefs. When it comes to the Chiefs casino, they just felt off the
The
entire
whole
night.
game the
That
whole
it was
game they
such a
felt off.
weird game for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes being your leading rusher, that's bad. I knew Pacheco was gonna fall back this year, and he did. Um, let's give a little bit of credit, though, to the Chargers defense. They did pretty good during all of that. I mean, because you're right, they're still the Chiefs. Mahomes, for as on the run he was and how much he had to scramble, which I knew he would, because I don't trust the left tackle.
Yep.
Um, he was 24 for 39, 258 with a touchdown. Good on him. That was great. And he had a rushing touchdown too. But losing Xavier Worthy, I know not a lot of people are super high on him, but he is still also a viable receiver that some teams would want to have. I would want him. And I, having him and Rice down for these first 6 games, and probably Worthy being gone for, I would say, at least a couple, right?
Well, yeah, that was such a weird
Yeah.
first off, a weird start to the game where him and Kelsey are doing crossers over the middle, and Kelsey just takes him out.
Blows his shoulder out. And you know what's crazy? Did you see what last night, where Flowers and Andrews collided?
Yeah.
I literally
It's
had, because I was like, "Oh, is this gonna happen to my other starting receiver?" Great, but it did not. But I can't trust Hollywood Brown. Yeah, he had, basically 10 yards of reception, 10 for 99, but I don't trust his hands. He dropped balls. This team just looks off. They just looked off, and Justin
Yeah.
Herbert played outstanding. I called it. I knew the Chiefs were going to lose, and one tally mark for me, bloop, that the
That's true.
Chiefs will not make the playoffs. And this 6 game stretch, especially being down 2 receivers for at least probably 3 games now, because I think he'll be out for about 2 weeks, two more added weeks, and then missing the whole game against Chargers. That I do think this is going to hurt them tremendously,
Yeah.
especially with Jalen Carter not getting suspended for spitting on Dak Prescott. That this is going to be a bad game because yes, we aren't high on the Eagles defense. They look kind of bad, and we talked about that off the pod and on the pod. But I don't think Mahomes is going to be able to do enough to outscore what Jalen Hurts is going to do.
Oh, and breaking news from Adam Schefter: the person who shoved Ravens wide receiver, it was Hopkins,
Ben,
wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, and then got shoved by quarterback Lamar Jackson, has been
ben,
indefinitely
yeah.
banned from Bills and all NFL stadiums per a team official. That sucks. I mean, it's well deserved, but that
I mean, but
sucks.
how would they like he can't buy the tickets, obviously, but like if he's just an average Joe, who's gonna stop him?
Dude, with so many what is it, like AI facial recognition programs, I'm sure you just walk into a stadium and you get flagged on their internal computers or something like that. But good. But back to the Chargers Chiefs. Yeah, again, their defense looks suspect. They just didn't look like they were ever getting any sort of pressure on Herbert. And again, the Chargers O-line is good, but it's not that good to where there should just be zero pressure at all
Yeah.
times. It really did feel like the Chargers were in control in that game, and the one big, like, back-breaking touchdown was that kind of wheel route to Travis Kelce, where that just looked like the defense just kind of like messed up what play they were calling, and then he
Oh
was
yeah.
running free. Because other than that, every other play, it was also shout out to who is it? To Teal Ear Tart, who not only got to just straight up bitch slap Travis Kelce in the face, did not get ejected from that. And then the rest of the game just swatted like 5 Patrick Mahomes passes and then was
Yeah.
actively taunting both him and Travis Kelce. Not, not since maybe ever have you seen a player get to disrespect not only Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, bitch slap one of them and not be punished at all.
Well, I
That's my
mean,
hero. That's
Kelsey
the week one
obviously
MVP.
Kelsey pushed him first, dude.
I
Kelsey pushed him,
know.
and then he flopped like a bitch, dude. I immediately turned to my coworker. I was like, "You think Taylor wants to date this flopping fish over here? This little flounder?" And
Well, also the thing we need to talk about from this game is the Patrick Mahomes. Oh, I'm going out of bounds, but then I'm not, and I truck you instead. And rightfully on the
broadcast,
broadcast, they were being like, "Oh my god." Or no, I'm sorry, wrongfully. They were going, "Oh my god, what a move by Patrick Mahomes." Rightfully, every single person after this happened, which I'm about to pull up right now, said, "No, that's bullshit," because he's only doing this because the Chargers guy pulls up, and if he did get hit, what is it? It would have been a 15-yard flag. So let's see this. You can see the guy pull up, and then Patrick Mahomes like trucks him and then does like the yeah, oh my god, like the taunt again.
yeah, if he
That's not
wanted to, he
taunting.
could have killed Patrick Mahomes right there.
I mean, you can see right here the guy up. You can see him pull up right here.
Yeah, right.
Because
It's like,
again,
yep,
right at the end, you can see him pull up and yeah, and again, the Chiefs players are like, "Oh man, that was so cool." And Mahomes is like flexing. Like, no, we all know why you did that. Why the Chargers guy pulled up like that, because that's a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty, because Mahomes does this his entire career, which is do the thing where he's about to fake going out of bounds and then come back inside, and then if he does go out of bounds and somebody lays him out, it's 15 yards. Like but there was only what is it? Only good thing about that is he did just get drilled a couple times in this game. So at least that wasn't the one where it's like, well, he never got hit. He only delivered that weak hit. And again, it's weak because the guy was basically defenseless. But Let's move on. I don't know where Casino went. I was so focused on the video. What is it? Let's move on to the next game. Also, good for the Chargers. Again, only a Chargers hater on this podcast because of the comments from Chargers fans who are annoying and the Herbert defenders who are annoying. Again, I've never said that Herbert is a bad quarterback. I'm just saying he's not, what is it? He's not the best quarterback in the league. Again, that's it. That's it. Well, again, I don't know why that's a controversial statement. Next up, let's go fast forward to Sunday, Casino. Talk about Buccaneers Falcons. The Bucks win 23-20 with the Falcons missing a game time kick that would have sent the game to OT. Thoughts on this one, Casino?
Pretty good, actually. I like this. I think I was sleeping a little bit more on the Falcons than I should have been. I knew Penix was going to play well. I was one of the few who did, and he definitely showed that he could play in the NFL. I think this was just a great divisional game. You say it all the time that in division it's tough. I agree with you. I just thought that the Bucks were so far more superior than the Falcons going into the season, but this seems like it is going to be like last year. The Bucks will win, but they are right there neck and neck with the Falcons the whole way up. Um, but yeah, Baker played decent. Penix played great. I'm all for it. This was a good game.
Yeah. And I was one of the ones when it came to Michael Penix Jr. where I was just like, I just need to see it. Like,
Yeah,
show me. And then he did show me in this game that extension he did to get the touchdown. How I don't even know physically how no part of his body touched before he extended like
that's just
that.
pure strength. He
That
knowledge.
was, yeah, that was one of the
He
craziest like
basically just went
stretch
down
outs I've
into
ever
a
seen.
one arm push up.
Yeah, that was one of the most impressive, like, I'm reaching for a touchdown ones I've ever seen. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was great.
Uh, but also to trust him in basically, again, he's only started 4 games in the NFL before this game. To trust him to throw the ball 42 times, to get that performance you did get from him. Again, it's not like he was running all over the place. He only rushed for
21
6
yards.
carries, 21 yards. Most of it came on that stretch play to get the touchdown. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but I
almost
told you
300 yards.
I told you I watched him a lot in college. So one of our main viewers, shout out Vic, what's up, bud? Uh, that I watched a lot of games with him in college, and he was placing the ball beautifully. If he has time, he can get that ball where it needs to go. And that was something that I was telling you before the season started, is he just drops dimes. Like
Yeah.
he can put the
No, he
ball
does.
wherever he wants on that field. So
Yeah. No, it was an impressive game, impressive performance. Now I feel again, we're not doing overreaction, underreaction, but I feel so good about picking the Falcons to go to the playoffs. Even after a loss after that game, I liked how their defense played. Again, they kept Baker Mayfield in check for most of the game. He had that one laser to Mbuka or whatever in between like 3 defenders. That was crazy. But other than that, he was 17 for 32, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, they kept him less than 200 passing yards on almost 20 attempts. So Falcons defense is good. That Falcons offense, I liked everything I saw from it. Again, Bijan Robinson might be emerging as just the best receiving back in the league. So he's going to get going rushing. He got going receiving in this game. Second in receptions on in this game, Casino. Drake London, followed by Kyle Pitts. Those are your 3 guys you want the ball in the hands of. London, Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. So this Falcons team, I walked away from this game going, oh, I like both these teams more, actually.
yeah,
Like,
I
even in a
really did
loss.
too. That was a fun one. Sorry. I'm sorry if I keep stepping away. My daughter's still here because she's not in school. We all have upper respiratory infections, aka bronchitis. So that's been fun. Um, so yeah, she's just needy. So sorry if I just keep walking away and helping her. She's miserable. So I feel bad.
Speaking of miserable, Casino, let's jump to your team.
Oh,
Uh
thanks.
they lose 20-13 in New England against our hometown Raiders. You watched this game.
Yeah.
What happened?
Geno Smith played well, honestly. It was a really good game for the first half. I enjoyed that first half a lot. Outside of the penalties, both these teams took so many penalties. There was no flow to the game. And I think that was very disruptive. Um, yeah, it was 9 penalties each. It just, I mean, there were ticky tacky penalties. It was nothing big. It was 9 for 81 and 9 for 70. That and time of possession was only separated by 10 seconds. So it was a very, very even game. Um, honestly, but it was tough to watch. There was really no rhythm for either team. Because everybody was like, "Oh, the Raiders defense looked really good." They did, but then also their offense, the Patriots got them on like 3rd and 20s many, many times and like sacked them or pushed them back, and then all of a sudden they would make a big play. So Gino was slinging the ball everywhere. They made the plays that counted when they needed. Because looking at the stats, they were pretty much right. They're right on each other. Like this is like a really the same exact stats. Third down efficiency is damn near the same. Fourth down, they were the exact same. Total plays are separated by 6. Both had 4 sacks, 5, 6 punts, same amount of penalties. Um, each one turnover. Like they played the exact same game. It was just the Raiders made the plays that they needed to make, and the Patriots did not make the plays that they need. Like those 1 or 2, 3 plays that you need just went into the Raiders' favor. That's all it was. So, Raiders, I don't know if this was a bad game by the Patriots or a good game by the Raiders, or if they just both were bad. I wasn't really too hyped up on either team.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a weird one. Or those both teams were decent teams and they were just having a chess match. Again, the flow of the game was really bad though. There's a lot of penalties. So we'll see. It was week 1. I'm sad my team lost in a one-score game, but we'll see how it goes moving forward.
Yeah, I think when you look at especially most of these games, you have to put in perspective like, oh, yeah, this is week 1. There's 17 more weeks of football. Like these teams, most of them will figure it out and become what we know them to be and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of
I
new pieces on both these teams. They got to get going.
Yeah, we've said multiple times on this podcast the week or the season doesn't really start till week 5. I think honestly, the only team I'm ready to write off right now and just be like, it's not reactionary. It is a sign of things to come, is who we will talk about next, which is the Colts winning 33-8 against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are the team where if you watch that game, and I watched every single snap of this game. Uh, it was legitimately insane just how dysfunctional this Miami Dolphins team looked.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even look like they wanted to be out there. I mean, Tyreek Hill, 5 minutes into the game, there's already a shot of him on the bench, like losing his mind and screaming at everybody. That was 5 minutes into the game. Like, I don't know. Again, uh when we talked about how we didn't believe the Dolphins would be good this year, it was based solely on just other teams and reporters just being like, oh, Dolphins training camp is like a mess. Like there's players on other teams being like, they don't know what they're doing over there. Like it's embarrassing. Like other teams were telling you a professional football team like is a mess
Yeah,
and
and that's
doing
pretty
shit.
unprofessional to say, too.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying, especially when you have to potentially play that team later in the season. But these other teams were just like, oh, yeah, we don't care. We need to get the word out about how bad this Miami Dolphins just organization is. And then they go out there, lose 33-8 against Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. It's not like the Colts were the Bills or Ravens in terms of what they were projected to do this season. Like it's like the Colts were projected to what? Finish second, third, fourth in the AFC South. Like
yeah.
that was their ceiling. Their ceiling was a 9-win team. So to get the doors blown off you like what is it? To get the doors blown off you like that by the Colts.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, Casino?
Um, yeah, Dolphins are done. We talked about them. They're just bad. Tua looked bad. There's just no chemistry left on that team. It's
No.
broken. That team is broken. Daniel Jones looked good, though. He did become the first player in NFL history to have 2 rushing touchdowns and throw for over 250 yards in his first franchise game, for a new franchise, which awesome.
We're really stretching these records.
Oh,
We're
I know.
really stretching them.
I'm just pulling him up, pulling him up. He also made so this one's a cool one. He also made history by scoring every possession. Um, this is kind of with an asterisk because if you take a knee at halftime or whatever, they count that as a possession. But he was 7 for 7 on his possessions for scoring drives, which is impressive, right?
Yeah. No, see, that stat I like
Yeah.
because it was
He
also
moved the ball. He was efficient. He did not turn it over. He looked good doing what he was doing.
when we're watching football, all I do is just send you messages of should I see. The one message I sent you was the pass he did. It was like a 50-yard bomb down the sideline in between two defenders, and he like perfectly laid it into, I think it might have been Pittman.
Yeah.
Perfectly, like right into his hands. And
Oh,
that
no, Alec here, so that was
Oh, that was
the
his
one.
36-yarder. So, yeah, it was
Yeah.
almost a 40-yard pass that was, like, on a dime on the sidelines in between 2 defenders.
I
That
told
was the
you.
moment in that game where I
I
was
I
like,
I love that you
"Okay,
keep saying this is not a
okay."
hot take, but my hot take was Anthony Richardson getting hurt, which obviously is not the hot part of that take. The hot part of that take, though, is that Daniel Jones is going to be good this season with a new team, with the Colts, and I could see him going to almost 500, and, man, if he played like he did last night, I know he played the Dolphins, let's get that straight, but
Yeah.
if he could play anywhere close to what he did yesterday, he can have a pretty decent season and pull together 7, 8 wins.
Now, see, my overreaction, underreaction is I'm overreacting to the Dolphins win or the Dolphins loss like this because I think the Dolphins are awful and then I saw them play awful. The Colts, I am not. I feel like I'm underreacting, which is I don't think the Colts are this good. I think the
No,
Dolphins are that bad.
I agree. I
So,
do agree, but I think Daniel Jones overachieving what we thought he would do against that team will it will humble him when he plays better teams, but I don't think he's going to be awful this year.
yeah. Well, and honestly, we're gonna see. I feel like 3, 4 really good games against the Colts now. That before this, we were kind of looking at the Colts just being like, "Oh, are those just one of those teams that it's gonna be, on the third TV when it's Sunday ticket, and you're just kind of glancing to them to the right or left." But next up, they play the Broncos. So I want to see the Daniel Jones and this offense, the Shane Steichen offense
Go
against
against
that
that
defense.
defense.
Then you have the Titans, which again, I feel like everyone forgets the Titans finished as the second best total defense last year. The Titans defense is good. Like their offense is abysmal. Their
Yeah.
defense is good,
I
as we
mean, look,
saw yesterday.
yeah, I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, Daniel or Bryce, Bo
Bo
Nix, like, that
Nix.
was a really bad game by him," and I'm like, yeah, kinda was, but also Tennessee's not a slump when it comes to that part of the field.
Yeah, their offense is abysmal. Their defense is legit. Like their defense is good. And then you have the Rams, which again, another defense that basically shut down the Texans yesterday. So for Daniel Jones, you get three of potentially the best defenses in the league just right after each other. So
Yeah,
I agree with you where just mollywhopping the Dolphins like this in week one, that's going to build confidence to where you actually have to
definitely.
play like legitimate defenses. Because the thing we said with the Dolphins was they lost everybody on defense. Like, who is even their star player on defense at this point? I have no idea. Like, who? And then obviously on offense, it's like I stayed away when we were doing our fantasy drafts. I stayed away from every Dolphins offensive player because I was like, I don't trust them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't trust Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill at this moment feels like he's going to be off this team by week 9. Like,
Oh,
it
yeah, he's
really
gonna
does
go to
feel like,
somebody that actually has a chance to make the playoffs at least.
yeah, and has cap space, which I don't know at this point who that even would be.
I'll take him.
Please don't come to the Eagles.
I'll
Please,
take him.
just
I'll
don't.
take him. I'll take him.
On the Patriots. Oh God,
Dude.
can you imagine a locker room with Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs? Oh God. Um,
As Vrabel as their coach, it might be okay.
He's just gonna end up fighting them in the middle of a game. He's just gonna fist fight both of
And
them.
he will win. You know what's so
Yeah,
funny?
he would win.
I was watching the Dudes podcast with, Julian Edelman and Gronkowski, and they were talking with, a couple players, Will Campbell and, old left tackle for Brady, and they brought up about fighting, like, what Will Campbell thought about Vrabel going into that pile, and then they started talking about what we talked about. What coach can he take in the NFL? And everybody was like, not a single, maybe Dan Campbell as the head coach, but like no
Yeah.
other head coach can stand a chance. And then they're like, but maybe if we came to some assistant coaches, that's a whole nother thing. And I was just like, that's funny because it's on everybody's mind that that Vrabel will just kill people.
Yeah. Also, I will
He
say,
wants to play.
well, speaking of coaches, and we were going to talk about this next game briefly, I feel like I was catfished by the Carolina Panthers head coach because I
Oh,
watched him on the sidelines
that's
of
funny.
this Jaguars Panthers game, and I was like, that guy was not as attractive as his photos were making him out to be. Because I was like, why was I losing my
Yeah.
straight card over this guy? I mean, there's nothing
I
there. There
mean,
was nothing there, Casino. Yeah, it
angles.
must have been a good
If you
angle
noticed,
or a good
the
camera.
angles were great.
Yeah. But next up, Panthers Jaguars. We don't have to talk about this game a lot. I feel like the three teams I had going into the season were Raiders, Panthers, and the Titans, who I was rooting for as kind of like my dark horse picks. The out of all those three teams, obviously Raiders won. We talked about that. But Titans looked good. Again, if any of their wide receivers could catch the ball, they almost certainly go to at least OT in that game. I mean, Cam Ward hit four of his receivers in the last drive of that game in the hands four times on streaks, and every single time they dropped it. So that game was not on Cam Ward. And again, I like the Titans defense. Whose defense I do not like is the Carolina Panthers. They lose 26-10. Bryce Young, again,
I'm glad you went to that
18.
game, and there's not much to talk about because I just went and hacked up a lung. Oh
uh
my gosh.
well, speaking of just hacking up not your lung but the game, I mean, Bryce Young had a brutal
He's a
game.
hack.
He could have he had two interceptions. He almost had a third that was a pick six that got called back by a penalty.
Ooh,
Jaguars didn't even look good in this game. The only player that looked good was Travis Etienne, who had 16 carries, 143 yards. This feels like that player in fantasy where now everybody's going to try to either get this player or sell high, and then in
yeah.
5 weeks you're going to be
I mean,
regretting this
the
decision.
only thing that you could say that was potential with this game that messed it up, was the delay. Like, this game
Oh yeah.
had a massive delay in it as well, so that could have messed with teams as well. So, I mean, it's kinda hard to it's kinda hard to take that information and the stats that we have from this and whatnot
Yeah,
and
but
make
see
a
that
really
but see that delay happened at halftime. Going into halftime, the game was 20-3. Like, it's not like it was close at halftime. It was honestly a potential Jaguars blowout. And then
yeah,
after, I think it was an hour 15-minute
something like
delay,
that.
then it came out very similar to the Eagles Cowboys game, which, who would have thought if you have an hour intermission in the middle, both teams just come out and don't have the same fire they did in the first half. Like, who could have seen that coming? But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because the Panthers have been my team, and their defense looks as bad as it was last year, and Bryce Young looks as bad as he did before the whole benching, unbenching, coming back in for injured Andy Dalton. And yeah, that was brutal. Again, not overreacting, still riding with them. That was just a weird game. Next up, let's talk Bengals Browns Casino. Bengals win 17-16. Browns miss an extra point and a field goal, so they could have potentially lost
The
this game.
most Browns thing. I watched
Yeah.
watching the faces of the fans of the missed kicks were just so great. I told you, and if you
Love
followed
misery.
us this yeah, if you love this podcast and you've listened to us for a while, I love sad fans. It is
That's
the
ca
greatest.
it's Casino's favorite thing. This
I
is
do.
honestly the only
Even if it's my own fan base or myself, like, I find it funny because I finally reached that point. I used to be a very aggressive sports fan, like, very
Yes.
emotional about it, very angry, happy, like, obviously, I'm happy when my team wins, but I was over the top, and I finally came to the conclusion, like, that's not healthy, obviously, right? And I can just enjoy games now and not do that. Anyway, so I love watching sad sports fans. They make me smile and they people take it way too seriously. When my team
Yes.
loses, am I upset? Yeah, but I'm not going to be "Ooh," crying over it. And if I do, I laugh at myself when I think back to it, and it is great. And anyway, sad fans, it's great.
Yeah. I think
I'm gonna
honestly,
make
I think
I'm gonna make a montage of sad fans and send it to you so you
you
could
know,
put
when
it on
it
the spot.
come what you were saying, what is it? Hits home because I'll tell you what, after that Chiefs Eagles game, I think that broke me. And now when it comes to Eagles game, I feel like I'm always just at like 50%. And then if I get excited,
Oh,
I'm at
the
55.
Super Bowl?
The first one, the
Yeah.
first Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl. That one broke me emotionally. So now I never get higher than a 55 or lower than a 45. I just try to stay in that 10
Yeah,
point
I
window.
just like to enjoy it. I like to
Yeah,
enjoy the game.
and especially week 1, like, again, the only fan base that should be losing their mind of what happened week 1 is, again, Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
That's the only one where if you're freaking out right now, like, yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
Like, but when it comes to the Bengals Browns, I mean, the Browns, again, the Browns are the Browns. That's the most Brown thing ever to lose a game on a basically missed extra point. But with the Bengals, there was a series in this game where Miles Garrett literally sacked Joe Burrow or hit him like 3 consecutive downs in a row. So it was first down, he gets sacked. Second down, he gets sacked. Third down, he gets sacked or gets hit. Fourth down, they punt. It was like if that wasn't a microcosm of what we said the Bengals season was going to be, which was just their defense is not good. I don't know why everyone thought this defensive coordinator would just come in and turn this around immediately. That offensive line has been an issue Burrow's entire career. So when people were just being like, oh, yeah, Bengals are making the playoffs, it was like, what improvements did you see for this team to make you think that? Because again, Joe Burrow in this game, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, the Browns have always had a good defense with Schwartz as their defensive coordinator. The Browns defense has always been good. It has never been this good where a top 5 quarterback in this league throws for 100 yards. Like that's insane. But again, not overreacting. Browns are going to be the Browns. Bengals, however, they're the ones where I'm on the fence. If like I think again, I said they would be a dumpster fire. This game kind of backed that up, but again, they won. So maybe again, I need to see more. Uh, which game you want to go to next? Oh, we'll just touch on these lightly, and then we obviously did Bills Ravens already. There's
Sorry.
2 more I
Sorry.
want to
I
talk about.
I pulled up sad fan montages, and I'm having a blast. Alright, I gotta put that down.
Um, I mean, post them, link them. I'll watch
Oh,
them.
that's funny. Yeah, go for
Uh,
it.
but let's talk about if if Ravens Bills didn't happen, this would have been the best game of the day. And that is the now 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers winning 34-32 against the New York Jets. This was a game I had on my phone that I was watching, and then I had my TV displaying 4 different games, and then I
Right.
had a tablet displaying Red Zone. This game was so good, I moved it off my phone onto the main TV and moved Dolphins Colts to my phone. So
I told you this was gonna be that game, like,
this game
this
was
is
fun.
this was a great game, and it was the mid of mids and what we thought it was going to be, but it turned out to be one of the best games of the weekend, second best
Yeah,
game of the weekend.
I would say
Um,
so. Yeah.
yeah, by far. And I was impressed with both quarterbacks on this
Yeah.
game. Aaron Rodgers played really well, 22 for 30, 244, 4 touchdowns. What I thought was impressive is how he maneuvered outside the pocket, how he was able to still get the torque and turn that body while he was throwing to get the momentum that he needed for out of the pocket throws, which that was very Patrick Mahomes in his prime kind of situation. I was very, very impressed with Rodgers on that. And
Well,
that's
that was also Rodgers in his prime. That's what Rodgers used to do in his prime. He's just
right.
buy
But
time outside the pocket and just
it,
sling
it
it.
it looked so good. He did so good doing that. And then Justin Fields looked outstanding. I liked we knew what he was going to do on the ground, right? We knew he was going to run well, and he did, but he looked outstanding throwing that ball. 16 for 22, 218 through one touchdown. And for Justin Fields, that's really good. That's
Yeah.
really, really good.
And you know what?
Especially
It was
against the
also
Steelers.
efficient. It
Yeah,
was
and
very efficient.
against the Steelers defense that everybody was like, they're gonna be a legit defense, and I think they are going to be a pretty good defense. I just think
I
the Jets played well.
I
This
do
was a
too.
fun game. I
Yeah.
had trouble turning away from this game. My wife has Justin Fields, so she was very happy that he was playing well, but so we had Red Zone up on my computer, we were watching the Patriot game on the main TV, but every time, like, we looked over, it was on this game.
Yeah.
There was
No,
so
it
much
really
going on
was.
this game.
And again, I also think again, shout out to Aaron Glenn coming over from the Lions. We saw the difference a good coordinator makes in that Lions Packers game, which we're about to talk about. But that Jets defense, again, they still looked good despite having 4 touchdowns against them. This is also one of those games where I came out of it going, oh, the Steelers are better than I thought they would be on offense. The Jets are better than I thought they would be on offense. And both their defenses are going to be fine. Just the offenses for both of them were much better than I think anybody anticipated. Obviously, with Rodgers, it was, oh, he was doing some good stuff at the end of the Jets season, but it's still been a mixed bag since he left Green Bay. But again, he looked like the old Rodgers. And then I will take credit for saying that I thought this Jets offense was going to be better with Justin Fields in it than it was with Aaron Rodgers, even though I think obviously Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is more mobile. So when that Jets O line just starts to break down, he can get out of the pocket, he can move. He is honestly the quarterback that people who don't like Lamar Jackson say Lamar Jackson is, which is Lamar Jackson, I feel like, is a great passer that is also a great runner. Justin Fields is a great runner that can sometimes pass. Like
Yeah.
that's how I'd feel like with Justin Fields. And he had a great passing day. I'm kicking myself that I didn't draft Garrett Wilson in fantasy because I feel like all season he was targeted 9 times in this game, caught 7 receptions, 94 yards, a touchdown. They come together again from Ohio State. And I feel like all season that's just going to be a connection that is just going to elevate Garrett Wilson to like a top 5 wide receiver in this league.
I mean, that's what it
So,
is with Jamar Chase, right? And Burrow is
yeah,
they just have that connection. They won a natty together. Like, come
yeah.
on.
Well, that's also AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts were friends, like going back years. Like, I honestly think that shit matters when it's quarterback, wide receiver, where they either
Oh
played
yeah,
together in the past or like they're friends before they join up together. It just
huge.
works. It works. But yeah, this again, another week 1 game where walking away just being like, I like both teams better than I did going into the season. And again, we both picked the Steelers to go to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I feel
and
good about that.
we talked highly of the Jets though. We
We
never
did,
talked
yeah.
bad about the Jets.
No, we both said we thought the
That
Jets were going to be better.
we thought this was gonna work. Yeah,
Yeah. And so far, it's working. And again, Aaron Glenn, I feel like, is going to get that defense figured out so they're not getting 34 dropped on them. And then if you just play that kind of Justin Fields game, he rushes for 50 yards, throws for 200, is just efficient, doesn't turn the ball over. That's a winning formula in the NFL. Like,
all
that's
day.
gonna work. Let's just touch on a couple of these, and then we'll leave on, Packers Lions.
Thanks.
Uh, so let's just
I'm
go.
sorry. I'm struggling.
No, no,
This
I
is
know you're
this is
dying. We
yeah.
got
I'm
yeah,
doing
let's go
my
like
absolute best. Like, as I just constantly just feel a tickle going on right here that I just need to just hack it up. But I'm taking drinking my body armor light just to get as much of this down as I can.
and just usually constantly feeling the tickle only happens when we're in the studio shows.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, I
you
do
know.
appreciate your message. You did ask if you could help out, and yeah, definitely could.
Uh,
And we'll
and
get
I
back to
mean
that
that.
studio
I
thing
mean that.
eventually. My mom's
Yeah.
been traveling a lot, so she can't
Well,
watch
and
the
also it's
kid.
been so hot and humid. That would be we die in there.
Yeah,
We
we would have
die.
to get that AC on like the day before kind of
I
situation.
because see, the issue is that that place does have AC, but when we turn the AC on, it's so loud, it gets picked on the mic, like, so aggressively, it
Yeah,
drowns out our voice. So, yeah,
it
that's
sounds
why
like
if
how I
you
sound like right now.
yeah, so that's why if you watch those shows, just progressively start at the beginning, skip to the end, and you'll just see both of us are just
Hmm.
drenched in sweat. But let's just go through these quickly, Casino. Thoughts on Cardinals Saints. Cardinals win
I
20 to
forgot they're
13.
a team, and Saints are bad.
Yeah.
We both
Spencer
picked that as
Rattler.
the worst game of the week, and that, in my opinion, it really was because
I
it just
think
was
it, I
not
think
fun.
I agree. Yeah, and still, despite that, Rattler had a chance at the end, hits a guy in the end zone, drops a pass. Rattler better than I thought, and still he was bad. Commanders, Giants, 21-6. Commanders, thoughts on this one?
Russ is old; he needs to leave the league. Yeah. Daniel or yeah, Jaden Daniels, he looked good. Wasn't great. This is an old team, so I think they did pretty good considering the Giants defense is fairly okay. Um, and that's gonna be the best part about this team moving forward. But Commanders, it was an easy win. I knew that was gonna happen. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Commanders looked impressive.
no.
Again, they just look like it was week 1. Like,
Yeah.
they'll get better. Giants defense will get better. Their offense will not get better. More like Russell Washson, right? Washson instead of Wilson.
If I had
I'm
the cricket
trying.
buttons, I'd push it.
Oh, we need a cricket
Yeah.
sound.
No,
I
we
don't have
don't,
a
because
cricket
you
sound.
you just wouldn't let me talk. You would just keep pressing that.
That is true, because when I think about buttons, it would just be me pressing them.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Let me no, we don't. We don't have a cricket. But yeah, Commanders again. This was a weird game. Put in Jackson Dart. Again,
I
we
wanna see
Russell
him. I
Wilson.
wanna see him. Let's go.
So do I. He's played this same game for 3 years. Like, you know what you're getting from Russell Wilson, and it's this, and you're losing games. Just put in Jackson Dart. Let's see what you got. Broncos Titans, maybe weirdest game of the day. Broncos win 2012. Again, that Titans defense is legit. Broncos defense is legit. Are you at all scared of a Bo Nick sophomore slump?
No, I just think the Titans played well against him.
Yeah,
That's
and
all.
again,
I'm
Cam
fine.
Ward would have had a much better game if any of his wide receivers on offense could catch whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
there were so many drops by their wide receivers that hit them in the
Yeah.
hands. This is gonna be a rough season for
Yeah,
Cam Ward
I'm
just
not I'm
because
not worried about the Broncos at all. Not at
no.
all.
And for the Titans, if their wide receivers can catch, they might actually be what I think they can be, which is good. Next up, 49ers Seahawks, just an ugly, ugly game.
Both.
49ers win 17 to 13.
But
Same
it's already
question with Sam Darnold. Are you scared about Sam Darnold?
yeah, a little bit. We'll see how that works out.
I am too.
I was but what I was scared about for San Francisco has already started. Kittle's out, and he's gonna miss some time. So yeah, those players, they just get beat up. They just get beat up.
Well,
So
let's see honestly if there is an update with George Kittle, because yeah, he went out again this on the scariest one, which is just a non-contact injury.
yeah.
He's just
Well,
limping out when nobody touched him.
well, so did Brock Bowers though with the Raiders. Like, he also just, like, he came back in from an out route, and he just instantly just started hobbling. It was like, ooh, not good.
Well, 2 hours ago, both 49ers stars George Kittle and Juwan Jennings to undergo MRIs today. So
There you go.
Again,
There you have it.
I don't know what's in the water in the San Francisco 49ers, facility, but they just could
Well,
not
I
catch a
wouldn't
break
wanna
with
drink that
injuries.
bay water. Would you?
Uh, no, but also rough game for Brock Purdy, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rougher game for Sam Darnold, who threw for 150 yards. And
Ooh,
roughest for my fantasy, league, which is Zach, Charbonnet out carrying, out rushing, had a touchdown, out averaging yards per carry, and I drafted Kenneth Walker in the second round.
yeah.
So, ooh, please don't let that be an overreaction. Please just let him bounce back next week.
And
Uh,
also, it must be noted, Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries, 69 yards. Nice. All right,
nice.
moving on.
Last 2 games, Casino. Texans win at LA.
No,
Or I'm sorry, Texans lose
I
at
was like,
LA
what game did you watch?
14-9. Again, I think the twofold story of this is CJ Stroud looked rough, his receiving core looked rougher. And then
I
on
think
the go
go
ahead.
for it. I was just gonna say his receiving core, I think, was the issue. I don't think he looked awful. I think his receivers looked awful.
Yeah, Nico
We're
Collins, again, is supposed to be a top 10 wide receiver in this league. 3 receptions, 25 yards, but only targeted 5 times. Like I think that's the most concerning, which is he was just not targeted. And then on the other end, it's Puka Nakua, targeted 11 times, caught 10 balls, 130 yards. Stafford 21 for 29,
yeah.
245 and a touchdown.
And little update on Puka Nakua. My daughter, without skipping a beat, remembers him from last season. Puka Nakua, Puka Nakua. So her favorite player. She loves saying it. She might be
Yeah.
a Rams fan.
Again, if you're a Texans fan, you just hope you figure out the offense because that defense is still legit. Same with
Yeah.
the Rams. Both these defenses look great. Offense for the Rams obviously didn't look like they skipped a beat. And then Texans wide receivers. What are you doing? Last game we're talking about Packers in Green Bay in Lambeau beat the Lions 27-13. All of our Lions worries basically came to fruition in this game,
Well,
Casino,
not
because
all. No, I wouldn't say all for me. Jared Goff
that's
still
true.
looked good. I mean, he was 31 for 39. That's pretty good. Like that's some good completion, but it wasn't the big plays that you needed. It
No, they
wasn't
didn't. The Lions didn't
wasn't
look scary.
spicy. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
have their run game was gone, right? Jamar Gibbs did nothing. Montgomery did nothing. So like Goff had to throw it through the air. And so when you make a team one dimensional, it is very easy to pick that team apart. So I think Jared Goff played fine, but I
yeah,
am worried about the offense not being as explosive as it needs to be, especially in that division. And then the defense was okay. I mean, I thought Jordan Love played really well. He can sling the ball really well. I was telling you that I do like him when he throws it when he's healthy. He's got an absolute rocket bullet of an arm. Yeah,
yeah.
rocket of an arm.
You were
Um,
very concerned about his thumb
yeah,
for weeks. All you talked about was Jordan Love's thumb.
yeah,
And it looked good. It
it
looked
did,
like
it did.
his thumb was okay.
Yeah,
So thank
they took
God.
the cartoon bandage off for now.
Yeah, I feel like we're on the same page when it comes to the Lions, which is their offense looked good, but not as explosive and
Yeah,
different from last
it
year.
just looked fine, but it's not going to do what it needs to do, especially the run game. And again, make a team one dimensional. You're screwed.
Yeah, their offensive line also gave up 4 sacks, which I think is concerning because,
Yeah,
again, Goff is a statue. If he can't just stand there and sling it, like you can knock him out of rhythm. And then with the Lions defense, again, I just think that Packers offense is so good. It's early in the season. Let's see what the Lions defense looks week 5. So I'm not overreacting against either of these teams. And again, Packers, I thought they were going to the NFC Championship against the Eagles, and I didn't see anything in this game that makes me think they wouldn't be. So there we go, Casino. That was week 1. One more game to finish it off. It's so dumb how they do scheduling now where week 1 starts on Thursday and ends on Monday. Like it's dumb. Again, get rid of Thursday night games. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them. But
I mean,
last
I kind of want the reason. Only reason being is I work with my one of my coworkers, the Bears fan. I work with him 3 nights out of my 4 nights, and we have Thursday and Sunday night football together, and we had a blast last
Nice.
year, and he's
Yeah.
really into football, so this I enjoy it because it gives us something to talk about when we're at the tower pouring beers. We could be like, "Hey, yeah, 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 yeah," and then for like 3 seconds. So, I like Thursday night football for that only reason. So keep it
Yeah.
because of my selfish reasons and this podcast. That's what I want.
And tonight we have Vikings Bears again to win week 1. When it comes to our picks, I need the Bears to win. Casino needs the Vikings to win. We will see you on the next episode of the Only Sports Podcast, either Wednesday or Friday. We don't know yet. Casino get better, children get better. We get
Sponsor us
sponsored by
by
Body
Body
Armor. There you go.
Armor.
Yeah, this has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino.
Yep.
Adios. Oh no, the outro video. Why does it keep disappearing? Okay. Adios.